Welcome to the Save Poor Golf Podcast, where two average golfers talk about golf and things. I'm your host, Derek.
Welcome back, Derek.
Welcome back. I am back. Feels good. This is Dom Dom.
I did. Did you listen to the Friendsgiving one?
A little bit of it. Yeah.
Asshole. You didn't listen to all of it?
No.
I tried to call you.
Honestly, I
No, I'm
had
just kidding.
I
I tried to
actually had an
call you.
update on my iPhone the other day, and I haven't been able to access my podcast, any of it.
Really?
So I'm trying to I gotta reinstall it. So
So I didn't call you. I was like, hey guys, Greg's having a baby.
mhm.
Like right now, his wife's in labor. I'm like, if I call him, he'll pick up for sure. And I sit there and I'm calling him,
Nothing.
nothing. And I'm like, Greg, you fucking dick. And
Yeah.
then he messages me. He's like, bro, I was asleep. I was like, your wife's having your first kid, and this is like the biggest moment of your life, and you're asleep.
That's terrible.
And he goes, yeah, I asked her if she slept well.
Quite, quite the intro. Anyway, we are currently on episode 156. We have a very special guest today. We have Taylor with Rival Golf. They provide premium quality golf products to players of all abilities at unbeatable prices. Make sure to give them a follow on Instagram. Their handle is at Rival Golf. That's RIVLGOLF. Taylor, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, man.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Third
Yeah.
podcast. Super excited to be with you guys on this one.
Good, good. We're happy to have you, and we're excited to learn more about Rival Golf. And with that being said, what inspired the creation of Rival Golf, and where does the name Rival come from? Because I know it's spelled obviously RIVL.
So I guess
Yeah.
before you talk about that, what
Mhm.
is Rival Golf?
Rival Golf is a direct-to-consumer golf brand that is supposed to help grow the game of golf by making it more affordable and accessible to everybody.
We like that.
Yeah. Yeah, Rival kind of came about from I was in the golf industry from the time I was 16 to the time I was 28. I worked up to be a general manager. Um, and it's just too expensive. So we would buy merchandise for the pro shops, and we'd buy a Vokey for like $110, resell it for 180. And nowadays everything's going to direct to consumer. I mean, you look at Amazon, you look at all the direct to consumer brands. It's much more affordable because you cut out the middleman. My buddy was replacing his Vokeys with used Vokeys, and I'm like, "Why are you doing that?" He didn't want to spend $180 on a new Vokey. So I was like, "Well, I've got to be able to source a premium product from different manufacturers. I mean, there's manufacturers all over the world that have good quality." And we ended up going to 10 different manufacturers, got wedges sent to us. We told them what we wanted, and we picked out the best manufacturer out of all of them. We did a ton of testing, so we'd go to the PGA Superstore on their simulators, really high-end simulators, and do all the testing. And the one that we have is the one that had the best results.
Very cool. So going back to the original question, and so what I know you talked about what inspired you, but
Yeah.
so where did the name come from? How'd you come up with that?
So I wanted to have like a rivaled like I wanted to rival the quality of the major
Sure.
manufacturers. And so I wanted to have an unrivaled affordability. So I wanted to be much more affordable, but be that same premium. So
Yep.
basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to rival the major brands, but be a DTC brand that hopefully one day will be a major brand that is DTC only.
Sure. That makes sense. So I mean, a long time ago we had Josh with Haywood Golf. I mean, obviously he
Yeah.
does more of like he does a little bit of everything, but
Shadow Josh,
yeah,
super
it's been a while.
talented.
Yeah, we haven't talked to him in a while, but kind of the same concepts, right? Like you want not only wanted to put out a quality product, but you also want to put it at an affordable price for somebody who's you can skip the middleman and not have to, worry about that markup.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you go into a PJ Superstore, you go into any golf shop, any golf store, you're paying 40, 30, 50% more than you need to just
Mhm.
because it's in that store.
For sure. I like that. It's really cool. When did you start Rival Golf?
We started selling in May. And since May, we've gotten wedges, putters, golf bags, towels. We have hats and shirts coming, like streetwear type stuff. So it's just everyday stuff that people will be able to rock.
And so like so you're a fairly new company. What's been like one of
Mhm.
your toughest challenges as has it been trying to just get your name out there? Like what's been one of the tougher challenges for you?
Yeah, I think one of the toughest challenges is growing the Instagram page because you got a lot of people who are skeptical. Like when you start Instagram, right, as you know, you have 0 followers, and then
Yeah,
you're trying to sell this product, and you have 50 followers, and people are like, "I'm gonna wait till other people buy it." So
for
it's
sure.
kind of just growing your following, I think, is the biggest thing. But I think so far we've done pretty good. We have about 5,300 followers, and we've done it since about March. We don't have 160,000 followers like you guys, but hopefully years down the road we will be.
Sure.
And I think that's our biggest thing. We don't really spend any money on advertising right now, because I feel like if I spend money on advertising, people are going to go to my landing page, which is my Instagram, and they're going to see I have 5,000 followers, or before I had 500 or 1,000 followers, and not necessarily think I'm a reputable brand. So I think
Yep.
I would be wasting a lot of money kind of advertising dollars at that point. So right now we do zero advertising. A lot of it's kind of growing it through marketing, through doing the giveaways. We do the chipping giveaways, the guess the distance giveaways. We partner with other brands as well. We partner with other Instagram pages as well.
Yep. Yeah.
I will say, I hate to say it, but I have done that before where I see an ad and I'm like, ooh, that looks really cool. And I click on it and I'm like, oh, you have 20 followers.
Yeah.
Like it's not that I'm like, oh damn, the follower counts matter because it really
Yeah.
doesn't. We've been turned down by certain guests because of our follower numbers or whatever.
Mhm.
It's not how we do things here. But I worry that I'm like, man, it seems too good to be true. Like, is it fake? The first thing I always do is click on the website. I'm like, damn, like what are the reviews? Is it recommendable?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, um, I've heard many good things about you and your clubs and your bags and everything. Whether it was from Alvin with their podcast, love
Oh,
Alvin and Chris,
mhm.
um, or it was Cam. I mean, Cam is from Rush Golf. Shout
Mhm.
out Cam.
Yeah,
Cam is one of the best dudes I've ever seen when it comes to marketing via word of mouth.
he
Like,
is.
like that dude is
Very organic.
110% in
Yeah.
with whoever he likes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the dude today put out a video. He's wearing Jordan 5s and overalls. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
I love
Like
the
how you're getting it.
overalls, dude. I'm about to get myself a set of overalls just because Rush put
dude,
them on.
he is inspiring me. But he came out here like we were talking before, and he's like, Dom, I could teach you how to juggle this golf ball, and I swear to God, like 10 minutes. And then he never did. And
Uh,
I was like, but it's the thought that matters, right? And I was like,
yeah,
like
yeah,
there's not a chance. And he goes, bro, you just gotta believe. So
yeah.
Cam, like you're partnering with people that are doing a tremendously good job spreading awareness for your company.
That helps tremendously.
Tremendously,
Mhm.
right?
I think it's huge. I think like it's a golf community, right? I think you kind of got to get in with the golf community, and hopefully they like your product because it's a good product, and hopefully they spread the word about it. But it's a very tight-knit community.
It is. I will say, um, I don't really do a whole lot of them right now because I've been pretty stagnant on my posting. However,
Yeah, you have.
um, but for a while, like, yeah, you see some of these accounts will reach out to you, like, hey, you want to do a paid sponsored collaboration post, whatever, blah, blah. But you'd see like they have 4 or 5 pictures posted and they're all like posted within the last like 24 hours. Like, okay, that's a red flag. So I
Yeah,
totally see what you're saying. I mean, obviously you have to start somewhere, but I think the more that you're posting and being relevant and being, okay, this is actually like a reputable person slash business, that obviously makes a huge difference, especially when you have people that are actually putting out videos with your product. So it's very difficult. I think the social media presence can be so, I mean, it can really kickstart and jumpstart your business and your brand, but it does take a little while to get going. So yeah, just keep plugging away. I mean, that's the best thing you can possibly do, is just continue
It
to.
and it obviously we're gonna give you time to talk, right? About you, but
I think
it is incredibly scary putting yourself out there because in many ways you are rival golf, right?
right.
So, in many ways, like I am the face of my job that I work at, just with my position and,
Mhm.
everybody I interact with. I
It's a
am,
vulnerable,
I represent the company I work for.
Mhm.
It's scary to put yourself out there.
creating videos and content. You're like,
Yeah. Well, it's
that's
it's
easy.
like it's exactly like what we're doing with this, right? Like at first there was no video because we didn't
Yeah, it's just all
it
audio.
was all audio because we're like we don't want to put our faces out there if this sucks.
Yeah.
And then we were like, the only way that this can be authentic and to be authentic to Derek and I is we gotta put our face on it, and obviously what you're doing does not involve your face, but these are your products, these are your followers, this is your account. It's scary. But at the same time, like I said earlier, you're aligning yourself with people that are doing a very, very good job talking about you, talking about your products. Um, so even before talking to you, I've heard a lot about your clubs. I've looked at them online and I was like, damn, that's a cool, like, logo's great. The colors are great. The clubs themselves look great. And I want to get my hands on one just to like smack it a little bit.
I'll send
Um,
you.
Smack it a little bit.
60 degree. I'm right-handed.
I'll send you 60.
Get him a left. Get him a left.
No, actually, yeah. No. I don't
I
even
don't have.
know.
We don't have left-handed yet, unfortunately. But we
Okay.
will get into that left.
When you do though, get
So
one for
hold on,
Dom.
when you
Create some
do,
content. That'd be
I know a guy who's a lefty, sexy lefty, Brendan.
Go Duff Daddy.
Yeah, we'll get you hooked up with Brendan from Duff and Up. I actually chipped in with one of his left-handed clubs. That was
There you go.
the
Oh,
highlight
wow.
of my life.
So
That's
let's talk
super
about let's talk about the clubs. So you have you start off with wedges, right? So you got can
Yeah.
you just kind of go through the different degree wedges? I'm assuming you probably cover most of the standard sizes.
It looks like all of them.
Yeah, we go anywhere from 50 to 60 every 2 degrees, and we don't do the 58 degree or the 48 degree yet. Might consider getting up to the 64, but it's not very popular. Probably going to
Sure.
try to expand on some other product line before we kind of get into the stuff that's really not the most popular.
I actually want something past 60. So if you ever do like a 64, 68, I would have the time of my
What
life. So if
what?
you ever do it,
So
let me
do
know.
you know, do you keep like a handicap or do you play in tournaments or anything?
No,
Like local men's club. So anything over a 64-degree wedge is not USGA conforming.
perfect. I don't play
Right.
anything USGA. Yeah.
Tom's not trying out for the tour anytime
Yeah,
soon.
Listen,
yeah.
I have like a rough handicap through like
Yeah.
Garmin and stuff like that. It's not great. It's not bad. It's definitely improved.
I didn't play enough golf this
Oh, well,
last
you're
year.
supposed to say yes. It has improved.
Yes, it has improved.
Thank you.
Yes.
So yeah,
That's why I'm saying you should start left-handed. You need to, now you can be more
be
versatile.
ambidextrous. Somebody
Exactly.
will sign
Man,
me.
that's
Yeah.
it.
I'll get $765 million.
Exactly. My go-to favorite, my favorite wedge is a 52 degree. I love my 52.
Really.
I'm a 60 guy.
What do you play? 52, 56, 60?
That's what I do.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've never actually personally hit a 50, so I don't know. But my 52, it's weird. So like I love my 60, but my 52 from like 110 to like 80 is like that's my number. I
That's a
like
money. Yeah, that's a good distance. That's I would say 50, 56, and 60 are the most popular selling clubs. And then
Okay.
54 has kind of been really popular recently too.
So we've obviously played plenty of golf, but we're not like enthusiasts when it comes to like dissecting the club itself. Can you kind of just go into like the 8 degree bounce and the 10 degree? But can you talk a little bit about that? I mean, is that something like for me? I mean, 2 years ago I was like right around a 12.6 handicap, but it's probably gone up a little bit. So I haven't played a whole lot of golf. But
I should find out what my handicap is.
so
Hold on.
what is that? Just for somebody who's maybe not too familiar with that, can you kind of describe that or explain it?
Yeah, so we've just got a standard universal bounce right now. Obviously, we're not as big as like a Titleist or a TaylorMade or anything. You most
Not
of the
yet.
time you want not yet, right? No, normally you want a higher bounce if you're going to be like in the bunker. If you're on tight lies, you want more of a lower bounce. So it also depends on where you are throughout the country. Like out here in the desert, it's very tight, it's very hard ground, so you probably want a little bit more of a lower bounce. When you're in an area where there's like fluffy grass, like probably Minnesota, you probably want a little bit more of a bigger bounce. But also, if you're more of a lower handicap, you're going to want a lower bounce as well. And then if you're a higher handicap, you probably want a higher bounce because that's just going to help you kind of like get underneath the club rather than like kind of digging into the ground. Because most of the time, the higher handicaps really aren't really compressing the ball that much. So it really kind of helps to have that higher bounce.
Gotcha. That makes
I'm
sense.
about a 15 handicap.
There we go.
14.7.
Yeah.
No way I'm rounding down. Rounding up.
Um, so you got multiple different you have several different types of wedges. They come in different colors, or you have your silver and your black. You
Yeah.
talked about you don't have lefties yet, but is that
Sure.
something you're talking about doing down the line here?
Yeah, we'll definitely have lefties, righties, everything. So we have irons. Well, right now I have a set of prototype irons that I'm kind of testing out for myself to see if I like them. They're forged blades, so
So
I'm
hold
probably
on.
not gonna.
You can't talk about it in Reach Forum and not pull one up.
Can you
Okay,
show
I'll
us or
pull it
no?
up. Hold
That
on.
was gonna be one of my questions, and what if you're gonna move into some irons?
Yeah, we are. So we're probably so these are
Ooh,
the
I
forged
like.
irons we got right here. So we're
I'm a I'm a
probably
big
not gonna
fan
come out.
of I'm a big fan of clubs that are like pretty minimally branded.
Yeah.
Like that's just it's just clean looking. And I like the prototype wording. I don't know. That's a clean looking club.
How long have you been using those?
So I've had these for probably about 3 months now. They
Okay.
won't be clubs that we're gonna come out with initially. I just kind of wanted something for myself, but we'll
Sure.
probably come out eventually down the road with like a cavity back or more of like a players improvement club, because I think that's where we're at right now, right? Like I can't really reach out to people who are scratch golfers and expect them to want to use our product until I think we have a little bit more recognition as maybe an official brand type deal. So we're probably more of a player's improvement brand right now, but eventually we hope it to turn into everything. So we'll have blades, cavity backs, muscle backs, player improvement irons, all of the above.
Very cool. And will you so do you, as far as like availability, is everything pretty easy to like if we ordered a wedge, you can get it within a few days type of deal? Is everything kind of fully stocked?
Yeah, if you're in San Diego, I think you get it in a day. If you're in Pennsylvania, you'll get it in 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
And that's we cover shipping too. So it doesn't matter. I mean, even
Oh, wow.
our golf gloves that are $15, but right now they're on sale for 13. And then we do a 3 for 33 deal. That covers shipping as well. So that covers shipping from San Diego all the way to New York.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, most
That's a
people.
great price for gloves.
They're so these are our gloves that we have, right? So we just came out with these. They're premium Cabretta leather gloves. And the reason why I did this, because we have other DTC competitors for brands, right? Obviously.
Mhm.
Um, some of them are charging $45 a glove, which not even Titleist charges you $45 for a glove. And Titleist sells it to the store, and maybe they
Yeah.
sell it for $30. So Titleist isn't even making the full $30. So some of these DTC brands that are cutting out the middleman are
Are
making
making it. Yeah.
so much money. I mean, you look at these Black Friday sales, they're like, some of them say 50% off of everything. They're not giving it away. They're not losing money on that, right? So they're making 50% margins plus whatever they're making right now on the Black Friday sale. I'm not interested in making a bunch of money. I'm really not. I'm interested in growing the game of golf, and it's just too expensive. You got drivers that are $600, golf bags that are $400, golf towels that are 45, uh, gloves that are 45, irons that are 1,500. You got wedges that are $200. You got golf balls that are like. I just went and played Monero with Birdie Fever. I paid $85 for a dozen TP5s, TP5Xs, TaylorMates. It's insane how much they're
That's
charging for
outrageous.
those things. And I know that they purchased those things for $20 to $30 from TaylorMade.
And that
And
doesn't
they're
even
charging
include you
from
actually playing golf.
no, it does it does not include the
It's
golf. That's the
insane,
thing.
isn't
It's
it?
like there's not a lot. I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. If you're at a public golf course, there's not a lot of money. The golf courses don't make a ton of money. It's a very high cost to if you're
Run the
a
course.
public golf course. If you're a private golf course, you make all your money in membership dues and you're in the membership business, and it's cash flow throughout the year. But if you're in a public golf course and you have a bad month or a bad few months or a bad week because of weather, you're you're scraping by. You're working really hard to make pennies. So golf necessarily can't be more affordable, but golf equipment can be more affordable.
Well
And
said.
that's our goal.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, obviously we're here in Minnesota, so we're very limited with our
Well, no,
weather.
I feel like we align ourselves with people who, think exactly like you do, where they're like, hey, how can we make this more affordable? It's a big reason we're partners in Odin and
Hmm.
we work with Four Bros and their gloves and also all these like Pare with the hats and all these companies are out there doing the same thing you're doing. And I wish more companies would kind of catch on to that because it's not, you know, everyone is like, oh, golf's dying, golf's dying. It's like, no, they're killing golf.
Yeah.
Like you said, $200 for a wedge is ridiculous. I obviously yours are on sale right now for the holidays, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
Christmas.
$79. Uh-huh.
$79 free
But
shipping.
And
even
shipping.
$100 is or 99 whatever it is. That's a super good deal.
That I think that's a good price. Like right, there's other DTC companies that you can buy three wedges for $120. That's not our market. And our market aren't the people that want to pay $180 for a wedge. Our market is the people who want a premium quality wedge that's just as good as those $180 wedges that are willing to pay $99 for it. And I think there's a huge market out there for that. And because it's just too much to buy golf equipment now. It's too expensive.
Those deals scare me. You know how like you're talking about running ads and then they're
3 for
like,
99.
oh no. But they were like, you know, you're like, I don't want to run an ad and then somebody click on it and you only have,
Oh,
you know,
no.
500
I got you.
followers. And
Yeah.
you're like, God, that would suck. I would, those like three wedges for like 120, it's like that freaks me out.
I would say so. I would say yes, because I'll tell you on three wedges, I can't sell three wedges for $120. It just wouldn't work out for me, right? I wouldn't be able
You
to
would be
re
around for much longer.
I wouldn't be around for much longer. I wouldn't be able to buy more inventory. I'm not trying to. These brands, I'm telling you something that really kind of it's these brands I was telling you about, these DTC brands. They just are not all of them, okay,
Yeah.
but these major DTC brands, and maybe a lot of their costs comes from needing to advertise, so that's why their costs, that's why their prices are so high. But I can tell you right now, for some of these companies to charge $45 for a glove, okay, I buy my first set of gloves. We bought 300 gloves. Okay. I can tell you right now, $45, I would be loaded if I could sell these things for $45. You know, it's insane that they're charging $45 and they're not buying 300. They're buying 10,000 at a time, right? So their
Their
price
price
is
is
much
obviously
better
gonna be
than
a
my
lot
price.
cheaper.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So it sounds like they can sell their wedges at a standard price, but they're making all their money in their golf gloves.
Well, and like what's
Well,
interesting is like you have like a premium packaging with yours. Like, you know, when you held it up,
Yeah.
it said Rival in black. You flip it
Yeah.
over, it's white. It's not just like a little Ziploc
that
bag.
plastic clear
You
bag.
know what I mean? Like some of them come in, they're just like a little Ziploc bag, and then that.
Yeah.
Yours is like a nice packaging, it's a nice
Both are premium
display.
leather.
And for someone like me who loses gloves all the time, like I this past season alone, I lost two G4 gloves. I lost my 7-iron glove, which I'm still really sad about, my OJ glove. Sorry, JD, if
We
you're
just need to
listening.
give you just like we need to get you like just with a belt with just like one attached
Well,
at
you
all
know, we were
times.
sent those.
Yeah, I know. $13. That's crazy.
So yeah, it's like that for somebody like
Or
me
three
who
33.
loses shit all the time, enticing.
I'm telling you, on that $13, I'm making barely anything on it, right? But it's not about, I've got to make a little bit, right? But it's more
Sure.
about growing that game of golf. And these other brands, I don't think they care about growing the game of golf. I mean, you have a company out there that's like known the official towel of golf, DCC, right? They're charging $45 for their
Is
towel,
an
right?
official towel of golf.
It's not. It's the first DTC brand that came out with the magnetic golf towels. And
Mm,
we won't name names,
Don't
okay?
need names,
But
my
they want
friend.
to charge $45 for a golf towel. Why? I bought 100, and if I'm telling you, if I'm buying 100 towels, they're buying 10,000 towels,
Yeah.
right? And the fact that they want to charge $45 and I can still make money and free shipping and do this for $25, sell for $25. What they just want to line their pockets. They don't care about growing the game of golf, honestly.
Which is kind of unfortunate because you think DTC companies, the whole idea is to
cut out the middleman,
so,
make it more
yeah,
affordable.
you're making money, but you also want to put out a product at an affordable price for the consumer, right?
But I also think that it's part of they see, okay, well, the stores are charging that much money, right? So
True.
I can charge that much money because they can't go anywhere else to get it cheaper. Right.
Hmm.
So there needs to
True.
be, there are brands. I'm not, this isn't every brand, right? But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the major DTC brands. I mean, Tacoma's great. Their irons are affordable, right? They're not $1,500. So I think they're doing it right. But there's other brands out there that are charging even more. than what Titleist or TaylorMade or Cleveland is charging for towels and gloves and accessories, and it's insane to me. And I mean, I think they they get it to a degree, but I just think that they're ripping people off, and I think some people are buying into it. I think that this glove is probably just as good, honestly.
You've literally like
I'm gonna lose it the exact same way.
you've literally like answered like probably at least three or four of the questions I was gonna ask you.
Okay.
But do you plan on doing like custom
Damn it,
fittings
Taylor.
or like stampings? I know like there's a lot of different ways to do, I mean, I know you're fairly
Yeah.
new, you just started, but are these things that you're thinking about the next
Bro,
couple of years?
if my wedges said Dom on them, I would I'd fight a bear. I'd be
I'll get you some
pumped.
down gloves on or clubs for sure. Yeah, that's what we do want to do that. So I'm not like trying to build this overnight, right? I understand it's
Sure.
going to take time. I'm not spending money in advertising. It's just through marketing. Like our
Yeah.
advertising is marketing, and it's by giving away our products to people who guess the distance. That's our number one marketing, and it's
Yep.
working.
Trying to be
Um,
as organic as possible too. Like, hey, I want you to try this and actually give us feedback and let me know how you feel.
And most of the time people post about it and they say they like it and maybe they're lying to me, but for right now, I mean, our followers are growing. I have people that are return customers that are buying our gloves that continue to come back and buy our wedges. What was your question? I lost my train of thought.
Oh, it's talking about like, I mean, down the road, I mean, maybe a couple of years from
Oh,
now, like custom club fittings or stamp, like the stamping and all that.
yeah, we plan on doing everything. So kind of just as like a Titleist. So what we want to do is be a Titleist or be a tailor-made of direct to consumer. So and I think down the road, um, we want to have we want to have carry bags, we want to have super light bags, we want to have staff bags, we want to have drivers, wedges, putters, blades, mallets, irons, player improvement,
Everything.
everything. We want to have everything, right? We want to be like a major brand. That's the goal. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but eventually, yes, we'll do fitting, we'll do all that stuff. We're not going to go inside of the stores, so we probably will have like kind of something like PXG does, where they have their own little shops that you can cut throughout the country and you can go get fitted. So that's the goal for that.
That'd be really cool. That's a good idea.
I went to the PXG shop in there's one over here in that
Mhm.
mall that's really dead. Just the guys
And
in
there
there
was one in
looked
Mall of America too, or not Mall of America, excuse me. Well, there might be, but there's one actually. There was one at the airport, which is kind of wild.
oh yeah, no, it wasn't at the airport, but they looked
Oh,
super
really?
bored in there.
It's a sweet spot though. I mean,
I
that's
went
Yeah.
through and walked around. I
yeah.
realized that nothing PXG makes I'm interested in.
So we have like a local like a restaurant slash simulator
There's
place.
a couple.
Yeah, but they have an exclusive deal with PXG. So
Oh,
I've
the one that doesn't like us.
no, they actually I sent you a thing. I don't know if you saw that, but they're moving to their 5 iron. I sent you a thing the other day
What the? You didn't
on
send me anything.
Instagram. Yeah,
Where?
yeah, you didn't respond, you jerk. Thanks. No, but in any
You
case,
left them on
Where?
red.
um,
You left them
Pull
but
on
it
yeah,
up.
red.
so anyway,
Left you on red.
PXG. So I mean, I've hit their clubs, but again, I mean they're nice, but I don't know if I was to go out and spend.
I'm not a skulls guy. A lot of their stuff has like skulls on it. That's my only gripe is I just don't like the
Not
skulls.
skulls.
Not really. What
I mean, I'm not really a big
have
skulls
you
guy
ever
either,
looked at
but
me and went like skulls?
no, but like going back to like what you're saying though, I think that's a good idea. Like they're still direct to consumer, but they have these little hubs where they can offer the service in
I actually
case.
didn't know that.
They do, but I think they're a brand that charges a lot as well. I mean,
Yeah,
you see their promotions. They're like, get $200 off of this driver. What do you mean get $200 off of this? It's like, how much
so you're
money are
giving
you
it to me
guys
for free?
making on? Well,
That's
well, they've got like drivers that are 250, and then you've got drivers that are like $600 or $500 or something like that, and you can get $200 off. I mean, they're throughout the year when they're not having promotions, they're making massive margins, and that's okay if that's what they want to do, but that's not what we want to do. We want to grow the game of golf. Making $400 on a driver or more is what they're
That's
probably
criminal.
making on their high-end driver. That's not growing the game of golf.
that's my other issue with PXG is there's stuff like I'm sure the quality's there and I'm sure they're nice, but
Yeah.
like, 200 bucks off a driver, you're like, oh man, I'm spending, $200, $300. And then they're like, no, you're still spending 600 bucks.
Yeah.
And you're like, good Lord. And it's not in-house, it's some other company's driver that they just put PXG on. And
I mean, they're not bad, but I wouldn't
I think they're
I
I think their
go out
Whenever
there
irons
and
their
spend
irons are
top
great.
dollar on them.
whenever there's like a douchey guy on the golf course, it's almost always PXG. So that almost always ruins it for me too.
All
Somebody
the
was telling me a story. I don't remember it was I don't know if it was on a podcast or somewhere else, but they're like, yeah, this like we accidentally hit a bomb of a drive into this dude. Like it was like a once in a lifetime type drive. Like like a bomb.
This is like an old commercial, I think.
No, it actually happened,
Oh,
but it was like a once in a lifetime shot. And the dude waited for them and he's like, did you hit into me? And they're like, hey man, like we're so sorry. PXG shirt, PXG hat, PXG pants, PXG bag,
yeah.
PXG irons. And I'm like, just move. Like just hit your ball and leave.
All those reels you see of everybody fighting, those are all the PXG people.
That's how I feel. Like I was explaining it to my friend because I was there with her. She's like, why is this so expensive? I'm like, because it's douchey. Because it's
It's
douchey.
very expensive. It is.
yeah. But um, going back to
This is why I'm
your
not a
brand.
this is why I'm not a spokesman for
Yeah,
brands.
we're really trying to. We're not trying to bash other brands. The
I'll
whole
We're
bash
not.
the whole
PXG.
idea is to give you the platform and talk about what separates your brand. And I think we're doing a good job of that. It's more or less like you said. You're not in there to make gazillion dollars. You're trying to put out a product that's good quality, but it's at an affordable price where somebody's not going to be like, that's outrageously
You're not
expensive.
secretly a gazillionaire, are you?
No, I'm a broken air.
Had to ask.
I
Had
love
to.
that, yo.
Had
We're all
to.
broken heirs.
No,
But
not.
so I really wanted to ask. So I know again, going back to you just kind of started this company, but is there like maybe like what's the most memorable feedback you've gotten since you started this company? Because I know sometimes those positive um
Comments.
comments or whatever it might be can really, really help you
Reviews.
propel or review. Exactly.
Reviews.
Have you had any of those that really stick out?
I would not say one in particular. I would say all of them collectively. I think all of them collectively, all the videos, all the feedback, all the return customers collectively have made me feel confident that people like our branding, they like our logo, they like the simplicity of our golf clubs, like you guys were saying. They like how affordable it is. They feel that it's premium quality at an affordable price. I think all of it collectively, and then I feel like it is true also because we continue to gain followers, right? I mean, followers is big, right? And DTC, when you're trying to when basically the way that you sell is through social media, I think that's big. And people continuing to buy and come back, I think, is what collectively makes me feel like we're doing a good job.
Sure. Are you trying to like maybe down the road do some like sponsors as far as like events or even like I
An
Yeah.
know
up and coming podcast.
up and coming podcasts or just like influencers in general. I mean, obviously there's been companies that have went towards that direction like we don't have to even reach out to a professional golfer. We have a YouTube influencer. Is that something that you're trying to pursue down the road?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what Wilson did. I think that's
Mhm.
also another good way to reach out to people that aren't following me or for brand awareness is to get people who have 20, 40, 50, 100, 250,000 followers and reach their audience, right? And so kind of Wilson did that same thing, right? Like Wilson doesn't really, I mean, they went to all these influencers and now a ton of these influencers are using Wilson. And I would assume that it helped Wilson gain followers and it also helped them gain sales as well. And I think I think it's just better that way to reach a larger audience and have gain more followers than the advertising for me right now. I mean, the advertising is expensive. The ROAS, isn't that great. So yes, if we do want to do that. We do want to sponsor events. We do want to sponsor podcast events as well. And then the big goal one day is to like sponsor a PGA Tour event. So like they have the Amex at the PGA West here out in La Quinta, and the goal is to sponsor an event like that, kind of like the Wells Fargo or the Zozo or the Amex. Like that's our goal.
I think that's much more organic too, because at the end of the day, the influencers are still normal golfers, right? They're not professional, they're not on any kind of tour. I don't know if you listened a couple weeks ago when we had Cobalt Golf on.
Yeah, I have seen
Uh,
it.
their only like sponsor, or if you ever want to call him sponsored, is Micah Morris. And now
Yeah,
after Alan said that, I keep seeing the Micah Morris ad pop up on my Instagram of him using the rangefinder. And to me, that's just the most organic and authentic way to do sponsors or stuff like that because at the end of the day, they're normal golfers, right? Like,
for sure.
you
Mhm.
know, it's not like you're
And
Tiger Woods or
they're obviously not to interrupt you, but they're
well,
obviously
you did.
sorry, but it was just stuck in my brain. But because Callaway has kind of done that too with Bobby Berger, all these
Good,
guys,
good,
good,
stuff
good.
like
So a
that.
lot of they've been kind of going to that, but like kind of going back to what Dom said is like it's not Tiger Woods and all these other professional athletes, but these guys are pumping out videos on the regular. So it's like they're constantly getting this attention and this viewership because they're
And
always doing a 1v1, 2v2.
I think the beauty in doing influencers too is they post their good and bad rounds, assuming that they're like legit, right?
So it's
Mhm.
relatable.
Well, like look at Bubby, for example, from Good Good. I don't know if you follow them or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Bubby has the most wicked slice I have ever fucking seen. And I have a pretty bad one.
I saw his video the other day where he hit that like it was like a ping pong ball into like that
Yeah,
metal, like there was
yeah.
like no way that it could fit in there.
Well, where I was going with that is, you know, we have all these new clubs saying, "Oh man, we'll fix your slice. You just got to use this club." And a lot of it was Callaway. Well, Bubby comes
Mhm.
along and he's still hitting duck hooks. So for me, that means, hey, your average golfer is still going to improve because now we've seen him gradually improve and get straighter. Same thing like with Steve from them. It's like you can actually grow with these clubs and it's not like a one and done type product, but it
Mhm.
shows
Mhm.
like the good and bad of the products, right? Everything's got a pro and a con. You know, obviously we're going to sit here and we're going to talk up your products, but I'm sure there's a pro and a con for some people.
Of
I
course.
don't see any cons other than it's not this huge fancy brand, which I'm not a big fan of. Like everything
Mhm.
I'm wearing is not a big fancy brand. We got Lalo with New Wave Golf, keeping my dome warm. Thank you, Lalo.
Shalala.
And I got my back nine hoodie, my back nine bullies hoodie on, thanks to John. Neither of those are like these really huge, massive brands out in golf, but it's like some people may see that as a con. I don't care. Like those two guys rock with us, and I'm a rock
Yeah.
with them. That's how I look at it. I think that's how more people should look at it. I'm definitely interested in your clubs. I've heard enough good things about them that I think you're going to do well. It's just going to come down to getting the right person and the right time. And, you know, like you said, it's all like collectively, it's been pretty positive. I'm sure you're going to get those nasty emails every now and then. We all do. Happens. I'm surprised nobody's complaining about me on this
Oh,
pod.
I had to delete a bunch of them.
Thank God. Um,
Just kidding.
but like, there's a pro and a con. I think influencers do a great job, especially the honest ones, being like, hey, I had a really bad round today. Here's what I shot. And then, hey, I had a really good round today. Here's what I shot. I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, it's relatable, like you said.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they have, I think, like to what you guys were saying, there is a viewership, right? Like it is probably more cost effective for these brands to give these influencers free product to use the product than it is for them to pay for commercials or for them to pay for advertising. And with that, there's more viewership on social media than there is on any given weekend for the PGA Superstore. Like I think the influencers, they had an event over there in Arizona, and I think they said that they had more views than what the PGA Tour view got on because they were on live or something on
Yeah,
YouTube.
I believe it.
I yeah, makes sense. It's a great point that you yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I know we're kind of getting closer here to the end. Is there anything we'll do some rapid fire questions here shortly?
Did you ask him that? Because I'm kind of interested.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
did I
So
zone out?
yep.
Okay.
Um, but is there anything that maybe we missed that you'd like to add or mention?
Um, no, I mean, Rival Golf is we've kind of talked about this already, but we are trying to grow the game of golf by making it more affordable while offering the same quality equipment as the major brands. We will continue to grow. That's the goal. We're gonna just one step at a time. We're not going out and finding funny. I'm by myself in this right now, and I'm not out there getting investors because if I get somebody to give me a stack of money to go and buy all the merchandise that I can possibly get on, then I have to raise my prices because then I have to start paying them back and I have to give them a percentage of the profits. And I don't want to do that. I really want to keep this more affordable for everybody. I'm never going to charge anybody $45 for a glove. Never going to charge anybody $45 for a towel, $415 for a golf bag, $600 for a driver, $600 for a putter, $1,500 for a set of irons. It's going to be affordable. It's going to be premium quality. Everything that we come out with, we buy at least 10 of from each man. We buy a product from 10 different manufacturers and test it all out. And whichever we find is best is the one that we're going to come out with. I've been golfing since I was 10 years old. And so I'm kind of picky on my equipment. I'm kind of a decent golfer, but right now I really lost my swing. It's really bad. But I know the good quality. I know premium products. I've been in the golf industry since I was 16, golf since I was 10. So everything that we're going to come out is going to be premium quality. And if we hear anything different from anybody, then we'll go ahead and change that. But honestly, we really haven't had too many bad feedbacks. I guess one thing is my buddy lives in Arizona and he went to the Play It Again Sports and he found a set of our wedges at the Play It Again Sports. And so he was talking about like, oh, somebody turned in your wedges at Play It Again Sports. I'm like, that's actually pretty cool.
That is
Because
kind
you
of
see
cool.
That's what I
Titleist
was
wedges,
thinking.
you see Mizuno, you see Cleveland there, and hey, now we've got rival wedges in a Play It Again Sports. So
Yeah,
I think it's kind of cool.
that is. Did he take a picture of it? You should be like, yeah, you gotta send a picture of that. That's pretty dope.
He didn't. No, he didn't.
What if they were his wedges?
They could have been his wedges. They're not his wedges.
He just had a bad round that day and he was
Yeah.
just like, I'm done.
No, when
Not
you're
only was it the wedges, it was his whole set.
well, like when you
Yeah.
were saying that, I'm like, that's pretty cool because now somebody's gonna buy them and go, I like these, don't know who they are. They're gonna
Yeah.
Google it
Good
and
conversation
they're
piece.
gonna find you and boom, follower.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I don't look at it as a bad thing. I look at it as, hey, I'm inside of a store. I'm inside of a retail store. It's kind of cool.
You didn't have to pay to get into.
Exactly.
There you go.
Um,
By the way, beautiful bag.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. So we're sold out of these right now. We do have 100 of them coming on their way. So we're super excited to get these back out. And then we have 100 black ones coming as well, because white's not for everybody.
sure.
We have hats coming. We have shirts coming.
I like that
Um,
hat. That's sick. Bless.
Yeah,
That's
so this is actually a sample hat from the manufacturer that I wanted to make sure that it fit well, and this is the one that I like the most. So they actually are making the hats are in production right now.
nice. That's very cool. So, I didn't even mention it because we didn't really talk about like drivers and all that, but I'm
Mhm.
assuming you'll probably get you'll do covers and all that other stuff too down the road.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything that you can imagine golf, we're going to do everything. We're going to do streetwear, we're going to do polos, we're going to do hats, we're going to do all golf equipment, we're going to do golf balls, we're going to do golf tees. I want Rival to be a major brand, but affordable at the same time.
Such a great name too. Like rival golf. I mean, it literally it's very
You
fitting.
guys know what our logo is?
I don't.
So our logo is I always say this thing when we started with wedges, right? So I always say this thing because I miss the green a lot, a green in regulation. So when you miss the green, what do you want to get? You want to get an up
Up and
and a
down?
down, right? Up and down. So
Shut the fuck up.
that's what that means. Right.
Up
So
and down.
I'm biased because this is my brand, but I think this is the most relatable logo in golf. You look at TaylorMade's, Cleveland, Callaway's, anything, this is relatable to golf, up and down.
Very much so.
I
Up
would
and
always say
down.
that I missed the green, up and down's a par, up and down's a par, up and down's a par.
It's like like save par. Like, hey, I got to save par. But it's same thing. Like, oh, we can get an up and down here.
That is so dumb, but I
Exactly.
love it. I love it
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
I'm mad I didn't think why didn't oh,
Well, it's just like it's a very we talk
it,
about this like branding and logos, like the
Mhm.
simplicity of a logo and could really just pop, make it pop.
You know what? You guys said this at the beginning. A lot of people, I've got a ton of people saying that they like the simplicity of the golf clubs. They feel like golf clubs that are out right now, a lot of golf clubs that are out right now are too complicated, they're too complex, there's too much design to it. They just like the simplicity to it. And I think
Grooves
people are missing
everywhere.
that.
There's all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. I don't know why
so
that's
you
there.
know what's funny? I like my irons really complicated. Like I currently my bag I have the LTDX from Cobra, so they're a couple years old now. To me, those are complicated. Like that's a weird ass club. There's all sorts of technology. If my wedges are too busy, I get flustered and don't know what to do. And I'm that
Yeah.
way with my putter. That's why I like just a single blade. There's nothing too crazy.
More of a blade style.
That's why like I loved your putter, like the prototype.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I love just blades. When it comes to my short game, I haven't been playing as long as you have, obviously, but when it comes to my short game, I'm kind of picky. Um, I like my wedges real simple. Just,
Mhm.
not any real branding. My putter, same way. Like right now it's Mizuno, but like top down, it's very basic. And that's how I've always
Mhm.
looked for my putters. If they're too big, they freak me out. If there's too many like edges and feet and stuff like that, it freaks me out. I don't know. So
I,
I enjoy your simplicity.
yeah, I think simplicity is the way we're gonna obviously when you get into like player improvement clubs, you can kind of like design it in a way that's uh a little bit more than simple because it is a bigger backing to it.
Mhm.
So we may get into that, but yeah, we're super simple right now. But again, trends change and we'll get it. We'll keep up with the trends.
Well, let us know. Let us know how we can help. We'd love to get a couple of wedges in our hands, but we'd love to obviously help, promote it too. Like I said, I know right now we're in Minnesota, but we have some indoor places that we could obviously create some content.
Well,
So,
next week we're doing a little something, something.
yeah. So,
All right.
What is
Yeah, I'll send you guys some wedges for sure. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. Absolutely. And do something
So we're
with
not playing golf outside because on Thursday there's a high of 6,
okay.
like singular, like not 6D, not 16,
yeah, 6 degrees.
6.
Yeah.
But like next week we have a really fun guest and it's a really big Minnesota company and we're doing it indoors at a simulator place. So we're kind of excited.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
look
it's
forward
kind
to
of
it.
cold here today. It was 66. That's the
Oh, come
high.
on now.
It was 22, but it's like a really wet 22, so it's cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cold. Yeah, really cold. Yeah, I'm
It
from
feels kind
Chicago,
of
so I
nice
totally
though.
get
I
that.
didn't actually show you. I gotta show you a photo.
Oh
So I
no.
live in a high rise. My wife and I lived in a high rise down here, downtown Minneapolis.
We're on the
And
25th floor.
so we face downtown, and as you can kind of see.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had some really, really high winds, and I have never seen them this bad. And we have patio furniture out there that I've kind of we have tarped off. But anyway, long story short, all of a sudden I heard this noise, and I look. We have like we're attached to our Skyway system, so we have like a convenience store and a liquor store, all this like a barber shop down below on the main level. Well, the wind had caught part of the roof. And it's funny because I work in the roofing industry, the commercial side. The
Yeah.
whole roof,
You can sell roofing.
the whole roof flipped over, and
Oh wow.
it's wild. I'll show you the picture of it.
Did
It's
smack the
insane.
Skyway?
Wow.
No, it landed kind of just
Oh.
on top of it,
I
but
thought you were
yeah,
gonna
it's
say
kind
your
of wild. But this
furniture. I
Skyways are
was
hard to
gonna say,
describe, but they're kind of like tunnels that we can basically walk through all year. They're heated and everything. So like we can get from
I
here to Target Field.
New York City.
That'd be sick.
No,
Want to
it's
start
kidding.
walking?
No,
yeah,
We can
it's
kind of get
nice.
everywhere connected. That way we're not on the streets when it's
yeah.
yikes.
Yeah, I wish we had simulators like you guys, but we don't have the I mean they have some like in Los Angeles and San Diego, but we don't have it
I
out
don't
here.
feel bad for you.
Yeah,
Um
you're in. I
it's
mean,
It's
124
66.
degrees, but it's 124 in the summer. And it's
that is
250 and it's $250 to play around a golf right now.
it's
But
wild.
it's a
It's
dry 124.
That's still hot. I don't
It
care.
is dry.
I
It's not humid. You are right. I would prefer a dry 124 than a humid 99 degrees for sure.
I don't know.
Oh God.
I don't know. I
If
think
you think my hair's big now, the humidity makes it
I will
look
say
bad.
though, dry heat, like 100 dry heat's not a big deal, but
I
100
can say
in
that
the
because
120s, that's pushing. I
I
played golf in the 120s, and it was bad.
I can say
It's-
that because I've never been in a dry heat.
Yeah, no,
What
I
when
Arizona
did
dry
your
heat.
event? Oh, your event's coming up here soon at
It's in
Brookside?
May, so it
It'll be starting to cook.
yeah,
Oh, it should
but it
be
should be
beautiful.
120, so we'll be good, right?
No, and not in LA, absolutely not. No, you guys will probably be high 80s, low 90s at that time. But that's kind of you guys are right next kind of the ocean
Yeah,
over there.
I like that. Okay, couple of quick rapid fire questions, and we'll wrap it up.
Yep.
First one, I'll say what's your favorite club in your bag, but maybe I'll say what's your favorite wedge in your bag?
My favorite wedge is my 56 degree. Uh
56 degree, okay,
or a pitching wedge.
or pitching wedge.
Can we actually see the face of the wedge? I don't think we ever
Yes. Let's
because I know
see.
different companies do different things with their faces.
So
Oh yeah.
our face, let me grab. So what I want you to hear. So these are
You're just
micro
gonna
mill.
just rip a shot right now out of the bedroom.
Stop, he's gonna
So,
ASMR it.
I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear this?
No,
Uh-uh.
but I
Okay,
like to
so
think I can.
Yeah.
so it's on the side. So these are have micro milled grooves in here, which is
Okay.
going to help provide you with as much backspin as like the major brands. So you'll see them kind of on the Clevelands, you'll see them maybe a little bit on the Callaways as well. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like it looks like I want you to, can you
I
see
think
that
it
a
kind
It's
of
little bit?
reminds
almost
me of my
like it's
CG15,
almost like
my
a high
Cleveland's.
toe, so it just doesn't go all the way over, like the top grooves. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna give you as much. It gives you as much spin. I have a post on my on one of the reels from the beginning. I should do it again, but it gives you as much, if not a little bit more spin than all the major brands that are sold inside a PGA Superstore.
Very cool. There was one question I did forget that I wanted to ask that I forgot earlier. As far as grip, what type of grips that come with the club, the wedges?
So right now we have two grips. We have half corded black grips, right? So it's half corded up here. I wanted to do half corded because corded gives you more grip to your club rather than having a non-corded grip.
Hmm.
And the goal was more control, right? So more control means you can hit the ball to where you want to more often. And
Mhm.
then we also have these as well, which is the half white, which we're kind of transitioning over to these, the half white, half black.
Sure.
You guys have an opinion?
I kind of like the half white, half
I
black.
do too.
So I have a wedge similarly with that grip, but I like the Golf Pride, like the tacky grip.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I have a wedge with that too, but it's weird. I kind of like my irons and my driver with the tacky grip, and I'll use my wedge with the similar grip like that.
I
Yeah,
like the
some
almost bald grips, like the lambkin, like almost like
Hmm.
non-existent. I really like those.
hmm Yeah, so a lot of people like those on their way. A lot of like if you go to major brands, they don't sell not really half corded grips on their
Yeah,
wedges. More of it's is like that smooth type
iron.
grip down at the bottom.
Yep, yep. I like that. Looks good. Okay, so favorite club you said 56 degree
Or pitching wedge.
or pitching wedge. Yep. You want to ask the next
And
one?
it's pitching wedge because honestly, a lot of people when you're just off the green, okay,
Mhm.
you're on the fringe, you're just off the green. People are trying to hit their 56 or their 60 degree because they
That's
like seeing the
dumb.
ball. They like seeing the ball go high, which
Yeah.
I
No, you do a little
agree
bump and run.
100%. I use pitching wedge a lot on when I'm on the side of the green, unless like there's a bunker in front of me, of course, and I got to use a 15, 60, 60. But it's so easy because when you're chipping, you are supposed to, let's say you have a 30-foot chip, okay? All you need to do is pick something 10 feet in front of you and let it roll out to the hole. Versus some people want to use a 60 degree or a 56 degree, and then they've got to hit it 28 feet for it to go to the
Stick it.
30 feet.
Yeah.
And I just think there's a lot more room for error there, whether you skull it or chip it or skull it or chunk it or whatever it may be. I think there's a
Yeah.
lot less air with a pitching wedge.
I think that's where my game has really improved. I don't know if you kind of picked up on it, but
I was thinking about it earlier
I
today.
used to really want to just do oh, because it's sexy, right? Like
A
there's
It
little
is
nothing
sexy.
floppy flopper
nothing
spin.
sexier than a nice flop. I was
hmm
playing with Chaz and Jess, and we weren't playing that super nice course, but we're walking up to the green, and I'm a little short, and I have my 3 wood in my hand, and they're like, "You're like 10 feet from the green." I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm like 20 feet from the hole." Like I just do a little like a little bump and run, just kind of get the momentum. They're like, "I think that's a bad idea." And I'm like, I'm full of bad ideas. So like, let's just give it a shot. Like at the end of the day, right? It's just golf, right? It's a game.
Uh-huh.
I'm not making money off golf. We're not making money on the podcast. We're not making money on golf anything. Don't care. Hit this little bumper and run, and I'm like 4 feet from the hole, and they're like, "Yeah, we're letting you do whatever you want to do
Yeah.
now." This is
hmm
all while I'm playing in socks because I didn't like the shoes I was wearing, and my socks are wet. And I'm like, I probably look wild.
Like, who is this guy?
Have you
I'm surprised
played
we haven't seen
barefoot?
him.
What?
Barefoot
Have you
golf is
played
legit.
barefoot with outside like barefoot?
No, so I had wanted to play with shoes, but the shoes I was wearing rubbed my ankle raw.
Yeah.
It's like I had a blister forming, and I didn't want to circle back to my car and grab my other pair. So I'm like, let's just take them off and play with the socks. And
But
that
you could
was
play
the
barefoot too. That's a thing. Playing a ton of people play barefoot. Have you done that or no?
no, and I don't want to. It freaks me out.
That's amazing. That's awesome. I
Well,
love
with
It's
my luck,
supposedly this like grounding thing. It's supposed to help you. I don't know.
listen.
I think it depends on where you play though too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where I play it, I'm like with my luck, I'd step on like one of those like prickly bushes,
Oh,
which I
okay.
did with my socks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank God there's some kind of buffer between that and my foot, but oh my
You
God.
find the perfect little par 3 course or just any type of course that like actually like uh,
I'd play Theodore Worth barefoot.
advocates playing barefoot. Like those are
Yeah.
actually really fun to play barefoot.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't play barefoot at any other places like around here.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
grounded. Take me to Mars. I don't care.
Did you ask a question?
No, I got
Okay.
distracted by something.
These rapid fire questions are never really
What did I
rapid
get
fire.
distracted by?
I don't
Oh,
know.
bumping around.
Yeah, bumping her.
Bumping
You were
around.
giving us not only telling us about rival golf, you were actually giving us a little
Golf lesson.
golf lesson. So
Yeah.
we appreciate that. Thank you.
So if you come to the shindig, we're gonna have a DJ. We're gonna do a walk-up song for everybody who tees off. This is a true story. Like this is what we want to do.
Okay.
What is your walk-up song?
That's a good question. Probably, wow, now you stumped me. Probably We Be Steady Mobbin' by Lil Wayne.
Mm,
It's an old, but it's a
Classic.
classic. But like I listened to it all throughout high school. It's probably my
oh
favorite
my
song at the time.
You know,
Or Till I Collapse by Eminem or something, something like something
when I was
Little
classic.
old
Nothing
school.
not new.
when I was in middle school, the album I had on repeat was I'm Not a Human Being One, like the
Uh-huh.
original. I'm young. Okay, so that was my middle school. That's
That's a great
that's a banger.
Yeah.
That's a good pick.
pick, especially like right off the top. Because I mean, sometimes it takes people a
When
little
we
while
love Wayne,
for sure.
like
Wayne's
go.
dope. I love Mac too. Mac was huge when Mac Miller was huge when I was in high school, so I could go with those. You know, you could
I
go with
love
Frick
Mac.
I
Parkinson,
never
you
got
could go
into
with
him.
Donald
I
Trump.
was
Oh, you didn't
no,
like
some,
them?
no. Well, a lot of my peers were into him, like
So
people my age.
you rebelled on.
No, I was so into like The Weeknd and like Lil Wayne and everything that I'm like don't care that, and I don't like his voice. It's kind of
I
gravelly.
love his voice. It's so unique.
Dude,
I think
he's
that's what
awesome.
set him apart.
I just don't like gravelly.
I wanted to be Mac Miller in high school. I think like a lot of people did, you know.
Yeah, me too.
I,
Didn't
re-
work out for me,
I
but
remember I was telling some guy that, and he like almost cried that I'm just not a fan. I'm like, I just never got into him. Like, I don't know
Wiz
what to
we
tell
Khalifa,
all
you.
have our own
Wiz,
preferences.
I'm from Illinois, and they had Wiz Khalifa Mac Miller concerts, which was pretty cool.
It's funny you say that because somebody was telling me about a concert that was like that, and Mac Miller like opened for him. It was like when he was still kind of just getting started,
Yeah.
and he was actually like the best performer. Like he actually got everyone so hyped. 'Cause that's kind of like what you do as an opener,
Yeah.
right? You're still kind of
Mhm.
up and coming. You get everyone hyped up. Gosh, who was that? Somebody was telling me about that. They said it was like the best performance I've ever seen,
Yeah,
especially
he's
for an
awesome.
opening act.
Yeah,
What would
and
your walk-up song be?
I thought it was better than Wiz Khalifa, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's it. What would be my walk-up song? Gosh, I now that you say Mac Miller, I'd probably throw up a Mac
See,
Miller
like
song.
I've been super
Yeah.
into like Denzel Curry, and he just released a new album,
So you've been
and
on that.
huh,
So you've been on that.
got me geeked. Who does this sound like? This is like straight in Bone Thugs.
That sounds just like Bone Thugs.
It's Denzel fucking Curry, and then when he gets in it, I'm like, that. I watched the video.
Sounds just like
Wait till you hear him sing.
oh,
I'm like that's Bone Thugs.
I'm gonna go old school here with a Mac. Well, classic.
I don't actually know if our guest can
I
hear.
can't hear. What song are you on? That's not coming through.
It's the Spins, Mac Miller and Empire.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a classic. But
Yeah,
so I like that. Okay. Um, what's your go-to golf snack? Like, is something you
Beef
just kind of
jerky.
sneak in your bag, or like you go to the pro shop and pick up some M&M peanut M&Ms? What are you eating?
I go to the grocery. I go to the gas station and pick up the biggest bag of beef jerky that I can buy for like it's $25, and every single time good energy. And then I'll go to the turn and get a hot dog or a tuna sandwich, or like a ham and cheese sandwich, and then after I'll go get a burger.
Hey,
I
that's
eat
a
it. I
full
eat it the whole
stacked
time.
meal. I like it.
Yeah. It's
Nam
absolutely.
Nam usually will come. He'll always come by with something like so. He's done some jerky a few times, so that always keeps me through the
Yeah,
run.
he never buys anything. He just shows up and I'm like, you're gonna
Eh,
be hangry, so
oh, you
here.
mean like yeah? Sometimes I'll have a granola bar on the way there, or coffee is my go-to.
Yeah.
But Down always takes care of me with some sort of
What
snack.
what kind of granola bar?
The ones that are terrible for you. I like the
What's
Nature Valley
I
yeah, the
like the
Nature
chewy
Valley.
gluten-free
peanut.
ones.
The
The
peanut
chewy
butter
peanut.
ones or like the
Yeah.
green package? The
Okay, so those are like the original OG ones where they're actually like
yeah,
crunchy. Those ones,
yeah.
yes, I like those. But I really like the. Actually, I have one. Okay.
Here, what the go-to snack, what you gotta get these. These are honey stingers, the little energy chews.
Oh
They're
yeah.
honey based. So these are honey based or full of electrolytes, stuff like that. So they kind of help you keep your energy up. This is two servings is one of these. These are the easiest things to just throw in your bag. And then you're like, I'm kind of hungry. You just kill them.
Those are good.
These are good. So this one's the cherry blossom. They also come in pink lemonade, fruit punch or fruit smoothie, pomegranate. Don't like that one.
Ooh,
It's
I like
not a
pomegranate.
pomegranate guy. And then they
Yeah.
have some caffeinated ones right now.
Nice. I like honey too.
These are good. Yeah,
But
Yeah.
these are
these are
good.
terrible. This
Yeah.
Nature Valley, the terrible,
Oh
the
yeah, that
almond,
one. Uh-huh.
yeah, or the
Yeah,
peanut
those are
one.
good. Those are always good.
But yeah. So yeah, no, that's kind of my go-to snack. But if we're like stopping at the pro shop and grabbing something, I'm definitely gonna smash some peanut M&Ms.
Yes. And Reese's. And then put it in the but you gotta put it in the ice chest. Otherwise it
It's
melts.
just on the cart. Yeah.
You, uh-huh.
Yep.
Every time I want to use it, it's empty and warm.
There's no
Get the
ice.
action on ice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can go with whatever else. Otherwise, pick one, my friend.
Oh, these are interesting. It's been a while. What's your favorite golf movie? Because there's a correct answer.
My favorite golf movie, I would say, has to be Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, me too. That's
I
the
would
right
say.
answer.
I would
Yeah.
say you don't like my I don't mean you don't like it?
That's the
No,
correct
it's a
answer.
great one, but my favorite one's Tin Cup.
Tin Cup's good. I think the only part I really remember of it is like the last scene of it where he hits it in the water like 7 times. That's
Yeah.
Tin
That's my
Cup, right?
favorite part because I relate to that.
Yeah, me too, 100%.
That's why I like it because it's
Yeah.
like I've done that before.
And then I guess depend like if you are like depending on age wise too. I think if you're a little bit older, you'd probably say Caddyshack would be the number one movie. But I think like this era, I would definitely say Happy Gilmore's gotta be
Happy
number one.
Gilmore, and I'm hoping Happy Gilmore 2 hasn't come out yet. Yeah, right? I'm
No, it
hoping
hasn't
it
come out
doesn't
yet.
I hope it doesn't disappoint.
I know.
I mean,
I mean, normally number two's
Usually
always
sequels do.
usually
Usually
the second
well,
one.
sequels do.
especially his more recent movies have kind of just been. I think this one's gonna succeed based on just like the name alone and
Yes.
like just the nostalgia. I don't think it's gonna be a great movie though.
I think it'll be a good. It'll have some.
Well, and they've hired a lot of people who aren't actors or actresses. So it's
I
like I
think
don't know
it
why.
it'll get a lot of initial views, and then I think it's
Yeah,
just going to be about the reviews, right? Because everybody's going to want to see Happy Gilmore too, I would assume.
100%.
I just
Yeah.
want to see Paige.
Is she actually
Yeah.
in that?
She's
She's
the
in
beard
it?
lady. Yeah.
Is she? I know they had talked about it. I
Of
don't know if
course.
she actually was or. Yeah.
God
Uh-huh.
damn, I just want to see Paige.
She's.
Dream podcast guest right there. I feel like she could actually teach me a lot about golf to the point where I'd be like, damn, everything I'm doing is wrong. And then I'd feel bad about myself. But then I'd be like, Paige taught me stuff and I'd be
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
thrilled.
There you go.
That being said, I'd be thrilled if you taught me stuff and all of a sudden I'm shooting like 88s tomorrow. I'd be thrilled too.
Well, I got nothing for you. You're doing the bump and run, so that's all I got.
I love bump
Yeah.
and runs. They're my
Bump
favorite.
and run to
I had to
play.
like stroke my ego down because I'm like, hey, this isn't smart every time. But every
People,
once in a while, it's fun.
anybody that's watching this right now, if you don't play a bump and run and you play a bump and run, you will shave 2 to 3 strokes off of your run of golf. I promise you.
It's not sexy, but like shooting lower, pretty sexy.
Works 60%
Right,
of the
exactly.
time.
What's
Every
sexier,
time.
82 or 79? Or if you're in the 92 or 89, you want to shoot 89. I promise you, if you stop trying to hit your 60-degree to the pin because it's sexy, you'll score lower.
You heard it right here, folks. Taylor's dropping
I have another
some
question.
knowledge. Okay.
One I wanted to ask earlier.
Yeah.
Because we used to ask it, and it was always one of my favorites.
Ask away.
If you could play 18 holes of golf with just one club in your bag, what club is it?
Uh, It probably would be a 7 iron, to be honest. I
Okay.
mean, I think it's the most versatile. I think you can putt with it. It's far enough to get off the tee box. Um,
You can
but
do
like
bumper runs.
you could do bumper and runs with it. 5 irons, I think, are on a if you're 100 yards out and you're kind of over a bunker, I think it's going to go way too low. So I think a 7 iron you can loft a little bit, and I think you have more versatility with a 7 iron than anything else.
I'm picking a 60 degree.
Really?
Hear me out. Hear me out. Obviously, you've never seen me play golf. I can blade a 60 degree like 400 yards, or I can chunk it like 10.
Right.
That's all I need. Listen, if it's a 410-yard hole, money.
You're on a two, and then you can flip it over like you're playing
Well,
pool.
I
You
can
could just
putt with wedges pretty well. You've seen it. It's weird how good I am with wedges, but
You just blade it, right? I
that's what
didn't
I'm
have a
saying.
putter for a year, and you just blade it.
Well, hold
It's
on. Like, I
actually
love my
really
putter. Don't get me wrong. I love my putter. There's some videos on the page of me putting, and it's money every time. But it's like, listen, give me a 60 degree. I'm blading it at least 100 yards.
and then
I
chunking
think
it
the
for the
seven
rest of
iron
your
is
life.
probably yeah.
I
Um,
love my favorite club's my 4 iron though. I just bought a new one. Have you seen it?
Four
you
Bought
iron.
told
a
me about it.
bought a sexy ass Mizuno, the new Fly High in the 4 iron. Sexy.
Hmm.
I work with Mizuno, so I didn't pay full price, which is kind of
Right.
cool. But I have little perks. I'm not loaded. I am a broken air like you.
Right.
Uh, oh my God, that thing is beautiful.
What's some of the best golf advice that you've ever received?
The best golf advice that I've ever received. Um,
Open runs.
Say bump and run.
yes, 100%. So my coach in high school, he would tell us, use your 8 iron from just off the green, just bump and run it, and it takes strokes off your game. But otherwise, I think some great advice is to just not get too mad, don't take it too seriously. You have to forget about your previous shot, right? You hit a bad shot, you can't go up to your next shot and like be thinking about it. You've got to be calm. You've almost got to be, if you're serious about playing golf, like if you're not just going out there to have fun and you're wanting to score, because there's a lot of people that like that, right? Like you've got to almost be like dull. You've almost can't get too excited. You can't get too mad. You've almost got
Kind
to
of
be
even
dull.
keel. Yeah,
Right,
no,
exactly.
not too high, not too low.
Like you see the guys on tour. I mean, you don't. I mean, maybe when they make a sick shot, they're like super excited
Oh
about it.
no,
But usually they're like very level,
even.
right? But I also think that that's part of the reason why people are starting to like DeChambeau is because he is exciting, right? I think DeChambeau is exciting. Scotty Scheffler is great too. I love Scotty Scheffler, uh, but he's not as exciting as like a DeChambeau.
That's why
So
I've always been like a Bubba fan, is because Bubba, back in his prime, I should say, wore his emotions like on his sleeve. When he hit a sick shot, he was celebrating. When it
yeah,
was a bad shot, he was pretty even, but you were like, you could tell he's like,
Tell he
damn.
was fuming
Yeah, you could
inside.
tell he's like, damn, I could do better. But exactly, I mean, to your point, DeChambeau right now is super fun to watch. I'm not a big Scotty guy because I think he is very just monotone
I love
with
mhm.
Scott.
with a lot of things, which I'm not a fan of per se. Um, but yeah, I mean, DeChambeau exciting. I would love to like, I don't know if they post it anywhere, but I'd love to see the heart rates of the pros
Mm,
throughout the rounds, to see like when
Yeah.
it
yeah,
does spike and when you know what I mean?
Well, I think that's part of it too. Like we talked about growing the game of golf earlier. I think DeChambeau is going to have to win over and over and over and over and over again to get the same size following as Deschamps. Wait, did I say DeChambeau?
Scotty.
Scheffler. Scheffler is
Scheffler.
going to have to win over and over and over and over again to get the same following and growth, growing the game of golf than DeChambeau is, even though DeChambeau's not winning as much, right? Because he's just more exciting,
Exciting.
right? Like Tiger was exciting, right? Like he brought everybody into the game of golf and he won and won and won. But I think
Yeah.
Scheffler's great and I really like Scheffler. I think he will become one of the best golfers of all times, but he's not as exciting. So it's not going to be as easy for him to bring people into the game of golf. He's going to have to win back to back to back to back to back for people to get super excited to watch him because they're going to want to see him win his 10th tournament in a row or whatever, or his
He's like
12th
the most
tournament of the year.
boring, like best golfer of all time.
Absolutely.
he kind of reminds me of like if you're gonna compare to like a team, it'd be back in the day when the San Antonio Spurs won like 3 championships. They were like the most like sound best basketball team, but they were so boring to watch, but they
Boring,
did
not
everything the
exciting.
right way. It's kind of the
Yeah.
same way. Like Scotty's so good and but it's just
I actually sent Derek a Scotty Scheffler meme today.
yeah, that was crazy. I can't believe
Um,
that.
so since February 1st, Scotty Scheffler has as many wins as the Washington Wizards.
Which is how
Oh,
many?
really?
9.
Wow.
So
So
Scotty won
Tournaments.
tournaments and 18 starts. The Wizards have won 9 games in 57 games.
So I think Scotty's been a pro since like 2019, 20 or 21, something like that. And
Some eyebrows.
I love it.
I think he's a better golfer than I think he's going to go down in history as a better golfer than McIlroy already.
For sure. I mean, if he
McIlroy's
keeps
been
this
going
up,
since 2000 I mean, but McIlroy hasn't won a major in 8 or 9 years or something.
yeah,
He's
it's like
going his
8 or 9 years. He's got
career.
what, 4 majors, I think. 4 majors. I mean, he came really close. What last year? Obviously, that was
Yeah, but
crazy.
so my thing with this is you got all these young. Okay, so when I was growing up, you had like Ricky Fowler, you
Yep.
had Jordan Spieth, you had Dustin
Mhm.
Johnson, you had
Rory.
Jason Day, you had Roy McIlroy. All these kids that are really super hungry to get on tour, so they're working their ass off, right?
Yep.
And then they signed $100 million contract with Under
Themselves.
Armour, and then they just kind of fall off, right? So, what's your motivation after you have 100? Listen, if somebody gave me $100 million, what would be my motivation to continue growing Rival? I mean, I don't really know. I don't know if anybody would have to have a motivation to go to their job with as much passion as they had the day before that they could sign a
Yeah,
$100 million contract. So I think I don't I think that's the thing about Tiger. I think Tiger was he truly wanted to be the best. I don't know that these guys truly want to be the best of all time. I
they
think
want to
they
be good,
wanted
but also collect a nice fat paycheck.
exactly. I think they just wanted to make it, and once they
Yeah,
made it, they just didn't perform as well as they had to perform to get to making it.
for sure. Yeah, that's an interesting take. I mean, I don't disagree with you there. I think it's a good point.
I mean, because where's Jason Day been? Where's Jordan Spieth been? Where's Justin
Jason
Thomas
Day,
been?
I know
Jason Day's having the time of his life.
he's getting better, but I know he did battle some injuries. But yeah, it's that's the thing with like Scotty. It's like okay, you have Scotty Scheffler. Some of these guys have not as good of a year as Scotty has because he is kind of like on a record last year or two. But
Dude's on a heater.
he's
But is he on a heater because a lot of the guys went over to live?
that's also part of it. I mean, you had Brooks Koepka, who was also one of those guys that was up there, right? And then you have I mean, again
Even
Justin Thomas,
even Bryson.
Bryson was so yeah. I mean, I think the competition has obviously changed, but going back to what you said, Jordan Spieth, for example, he was like a fan favorite. A lot of people still really like him. I mean, he's had some injuries, but after that whole Augusta thing when he was on pace
Yeah.
to, like ever since that, like he was that guy to beat. Like they're like, dude, this guy could show up to every tournament and win by at least 5 strokes.
Well, and I've never been a Rory guy, so
I like Rory.
I don't understand the big hype with Rory because you always see him like first 3 rounds, you're like, this dude's unreal, and then the last round he collapses and then kind of cries about it. That's how I
Mhm.
look at it, anyways.
I totally agree with you, and I don't think it's who wins the tournament nowadays. I think, or at least before Scotty started winning, I think it's who loses it the least on the last 9,
Hmm.
For
right?
sure.
So like
Yeah,
it's like whoever chokes the least amount is going to
should win.
win.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because I mean, you just see them make shots on the back, like they're nervous. Like I get it. Like trust me. Like I could never be on tour. I'm not good. I probably don't have the mental capacity. But when you've played tens of twenties of fifties of hundreds of golf tournaments, you would just think that like
It's a group team.
it's got to be a mental thing too. Like if you're not winning and you're constantly not winning, like you feel the pressure building up that you need to win. So when you get to that back 9 and you're actually in contention, you probably get really nervous, right? But you would just think that getting paid tens of millions of dollars a year, you'd kind of hone that in.
I think it goes kind of back to I think the mental psychology
I think
is
more players should be like me. I don't know what my score is until the end of the round. Like, no, I am dead
yeah,
serious.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
true.
I don't know. People are like, "What are you shooting?" I'm like, ask
I'm
me.
just shooting. I'm playing golf,
Yeah,
man.
it's like
Oh,
ask
Yeah.
me at 18. Like ask me after 18 and we count it, then I'll know. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know what my score is until we finish.
yeah. It's. I think a lot of it's the psychology part of it is because I mean, besides injuries, if you throw away the injuries outside of that, every one of those guys that are on tour can
And
hit
win.
can win, right? They can hit the ball 350, 380 yards. They can hit irons. They can hit wedges. They can putt. I mean, most of them are all very close. It's
And they can make every shot they need to make.
for the most part, and that's what it comes down to. It's like like you had mentioned previously, like you have Ricky, these other guys that were on these winning streaks. Maybe not Ricky because he doesn't won a major, but he was winning tournaments and he was very, the
He's a
factor. All that.
second place golfer.
He was. I mean,
He's finished second place a lot.
yeah, I mean, there were several major events that he finished second or third, top five,
Hmm.
and just couldn't finish. But like it's got to come down to more of the mind aspect because they're all good enough to beat. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like we're like
Yeah, so they're all throwing in tens of thousands of dollars to these mind doctors, and they got their heart rate set up on them, and they're trying to level out their heart rate. I mean, they've got money going into trying to make sure that they can stay level headed on that back nine. And it's just something I guess we average golfers won't
we'll never
understand,
know.
but
Yeah.
there's just a lot of guys that choke on the back nine. And I'm not trying to talk bad about any of the pro players. So if this gets to any of them, I'm not talking about you. I could never
Hopefully it
do it.
does,
But
but yeah.
right.
Well, and I love that you mentioned Jason Day because Jason Day might be the most chill guy on tour. He's out there just living his life. He's out there with all these Malbon fits and
Albany clothes, the baggy
you know,
shirts, baggy
he
pants.
he's just having fun playing golf. And everyone's giving him shit for it.
I think it's
And I
nice to
hate
see him
it.
as healthy again too.
Yeah,
I
But
but
don't
I hate that because everyone's like, why is he dressing like this? Why is he dressing like that? It's like he's out there competing. It's been the first time in a long time he's competed on a very regular basis,
look
and
at
you
him.
Mhm.
can tell he's comfortable. Like everybody should go out there and be comfortable. Like, what are you
Yeah.
bashing him for?
Well, I just feel like, and it's also the media too, right? It's the golf channel, it's all of that. Like they hype these guys up. These guys win like one tournament or their first two tournaments, and then they're talking about that these are going to be the best guys ever. And so we have that impression that they are going to
So
be,
true.
and they're winning. And then, I mean, they kind of like there's nobody like Tiger, right? I think that's what's missing. I think I'm just missing the Tiger days where, some of the guys
Dominance.
gonna the dominance for years on end, and you just kind of don't get that nowadays. So I'm hoping Scheffler sticks it out and he stays
He's
dominant
the
like he
closest
is
thing
because
to
that
it,
would be
right?
epic. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the closest thing to it. I mean, that we've seen. I mean, we've seen a lot of these really good players last for a stint, but Scotty's got to be the most dominant guy we have seen in recent years, right?
When
Winning
was the
not
last
just
person that
majors,
won?
but regular tournaments.
When was the last person that won 9 tournaments in a year besides Tiger Woods? I don't know. To be honest
I
with you,
don't
I don't know. But there might be, but I can't remember at all.
I don't think there has been. I think that's where like a lot of his stats are kind of going back to like Tiger's rookie in his dominant years. Like these stats
Yeah.
are getting, but
Hmm.
we could talk about it for hours, but we
Yeah.
really do appreciate your time. I know it's getting
Good.
late.
Good.
But we do always ask one food related question and I'll let Dom ask it however he would like to.
So when we head out to
Chipotle.
your neck of the woods, as we say here in Minnesota,
Yep.
even though I don't think you have woods over there.
Oh yes. Of
Not
course.
not like here.
No, yeah.
We got woods. Um, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Where are we going? Walk us through it.
Breakfast, anywhere with a burrito, I would say. Lunch, personal favorite or just like something that like
Let's just say we're all like you take us there. Like
Personal favorite.
what
Yeah.
person?
Yeah. No, I like that because that means he likes it and
Okay.
that means the food's got to be good.
Yeah.
Unless you have really bad taste and you take us like McDonald's, which in that case, I'm getting chicken nuggets and being thrilled.
I'm gonna make chicken then because I don't
I'm
really
gonna
do it.
get a Chipotle for lunch for sure.
My guy, I had that today.
Chipotle?
Yes.
Dude, I'm on a diet right now because I ate way too much Chipotle. I would eat Chipotle every day, double wrapped burrito, brown rice, no beans, double barbacoa, miso on the inside with the hot sauce, the sour cream, a little bit of corn, and extra cheese. It's bad. That is fattening, dude. That is about
So
2,500
I
calories.
double wrap my burrito too. And Jonathan from Back Nine Bullies messaged me. He goes, double wrapped is diabolical. And I'm like, I don't care. I love tortillas.
I
Yeah,
could
it's
eat
so good.
Chipotle every day. I didn't eat it for it's been almost 2 months. I've had it twice in almost 2 months, and I had it today, and I was like, this is literally heaven right here. Like I could
I
eat this.
think there's something addictive inside of it that they
There's
put
something in
inside of
there.
it. I even like get the little salad dressing, the little whatever it's called, and
Yep.
take a bite and then pour it on top, and then take a bite until it's all the way gone. And then I
It's
get the grapefruit Izzy
What's
too. Is the
that?
best.
going to town on the Chipotle bowl. It's so funny
Absolutely.
that you brought that up. I had today. Like I said, I'm gonna text him like, dude, I literally haven't had this in forever, and I'm like,
Did I tell you I'm beefing with Taco Bell? I'm
no,
beefing with Taco Bell.
why?
We'll talk
Well,
about it
All
later.
right, yeah. But hey, I love that answer. That's a great answer. Where are we going for dinner after we eat that Chipotle?
where are we going for dinner? Mm,
We're gonna go to Chipotle round two.
I think so, honestly. Where are we going for dinner? I don't know.
We're doing a breakfast burrito for lunch or for breakfast.
Breakfast burrito for lunch.
We're doing a
Chipotle
breakfast.
for breakfast.
Yep, we're doing breakfast burrito for lunch. We're doing Chipotle burrito for lunch. And we're doing Chipotle tacos for dinner.
do Chick-fil-A for dinner. Oh, they have this taquito place out here that is amazing. Okay, so if I end up going to this tournament over there,
Yeah.
Brookside,
Yep.
I will bring you guys the taquitos. It's like a build your own taquito place, kind of like a Chipotle. It's amazing.
Ooh.
It's called Roll 'em Up. It's called Roll 'em Up Taquitos. It's
Roll them
really
up. That
good.
sounds like a drug joint or a
Yeah.
weed joint.
It sounds like a 90s hip hop song.
I think that's was the goal behind it. But yeah,
Yeah.
Like a Ludacris song.
it's so good.
It
I'll bring
sounds
you
like a
guys some.
Ludacris song.
That sounds actually really good.
That sounds good. I like taquitos.
Taylor, man, it's been a pleasure meeting you. And
Appreciate you guys.
yeah, like I said, we really appreciate it. I know it took longer than sometimes we'll jam for a while. So,
Yeah,
and it
you
feels
did.
good to be back. So I'm
Yeah.
good to be back.
You know what's funny? We
Yeah.
have one episode left, and then we're taking like a 3-week hiatus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
hey,
thanks.
we'd love. Oh,
Thanks
go
for
ahead, sorry.
inviting me. Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate you guys.
Oh,
Absolutely.
for sure.
Let's definitely have you on again down the road. We can talk more about your you'll have some new clubs probably down the road. So
Yeah, send me your address. I'll send you wedges and
perfect.
gloves. I'll send you gloves too. Yeah, let
You're
me
the
know your
man.
size.
Sounds good, man. Nice to
I
meet you.
appreciate you guys.
Yep.
All
Take care.
right,
Have a
thanks,
good
guys.
night. We'll talk
Thanks you
soon.
I
too.
don't know what size I am.
Releases Friday.
Okay. All right, thanks, guys.
Sweet.
Appreciate it.
Take care.